have had a crazy sleepwalking. Again, no murder, but
let's hear it. Well,
see, the year had to be,
Yet.
The year was about 1997. I was 6 years old. And at the time, my grandparents had a bed and breakfast in a rural fishing town, Cooper Landing. And every summer, my mom and we'd all go down there, and she'd help out with the business.
Shout out Cooper Landing.
Yes, great place. And we had this little cabin we'd stay in, and my dad hadn't put the deck stairs on it or anything yet. So it was just like a platform. You walked out and a big drop off. Well, that night, my sister and I were out playing around on the property, and there had been a black bear. So my mom goes, girls, get in the house. Don't go outside anymore. I'll be in soon. So we went to bed. The next thing I remember is waking up in my grandparents' house on their couch. And they had a huge 2-acre lot, and their house was like across from where the cabin was. So I had to walk a good distance to get there.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was super confused. And I remember I was scared I would get in trouble if I went and talked to them. So I didn't want to say anything. I don't know why I was scared. I could have explained. I didn't know how I got there or what, but I was scared.
You said you're what, 6?
So I just woke up scared I was going to get in trouble. So I remember going by and I saw them getting ready to get in their bed and everything. And they had this huge quarter wolf dog. He was Siberian Husky and a wolf. And I tiptoed by Duke, telling him shh, don't do anything, creep out of this house and run back to the cabin. I'm banging on the door because the door would lock on the other side. It had the kind of door where you could open it and get out, but it would lock behind you. And so I couldn't get back in. I'm banging on the door. My mom wakes up. She's really confused, rubbing her eyes, she thinks there's a little midget outside or something. She's like, who is that? I see a small person crying. And she finally turns lights on. She's like, Heather? So she opens the door and she's asking me, she's like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then after talking to her, we pieced the story together and she's like, oh my gosh, you sleptwalk. Yeah. But where I slept, my sister and I were up in a loft and it was literally a ladder to get up there. Ooh. So in my sleep, I got up, went down this ladder, went out off that deck where I had this huge drop, got down somehow, walked across the lot, got in their house. And they didn't know.
Was that the last night you slept in the loft?
No.
Really?
Actually.
Your parents were like, let's chance it a few more times.
She's
Get
fine.
in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I know I had a few other times waking up and walking around my sleep, that kind of stuff. But nothing as an adult or that was all childhood. And my son, same thing. He wakes up and it freaks me out because he does a creepy walk. He'll be leaning to one side, arm kind of dragging, look all scary. But he's just, and I'll think he's awake and he's just dead asleep. And I just direct him back to his bed, put him in there.
Yeah.
Have you tried calling the priest?
Oh, my husband always says, he's like, if you ever get randomly murdered, our son did it. Because when he wakes up in the middle of the night, and if he does sleepwalk, it's always my side of the bed. And he just kind of stands there until I wake up. And that's the most terrifying wake up. I love my kids, but I'm always oh shit.
Have you ever accidentally punched him in the face?
I yelled at him last time because I was it scared me so much in my sleep. I was like, damn it, Michael. And then I felt bad because I was
yelling at your child.
Yeah. But it scared me so bad. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. I was like, oh, damn it. And I was like, buddy, you just got to stop standing there. Wake mama.
That's the quick reflexes I fear when as a parent, you see just a shadow of a little person standing by your bed. My first thing would be
no, your brain changes. Your brain is different, I think, to where you're calmer. Plus, your subconscious.
Have you met me?
What Christian's saying is right now is what he's trying to dance around the way of. You will never have good sleep again.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Let me repeat that again. For anyone that wants kids, you'll never get as good as sleep again. Ever.
Right. You are half asleep a lot of times when the kids are around.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear them moving, there's a part of your brain that even if you're asleep is listening.
You'll key into. Yeah. And for instance, my parents will take the kids for a night and my husband are like, oh, we're going to sleep so good. We don't have to worry about a kid waking up. I'll still wake up thinking I hear a kid cry.
That's creepy.
It's just, you don't you're so honed into always having an ear out, you don't get as good sleep. I'll sleep in, get, catch up on sleep. Doesn't happen.
Okay. Question for you guys then. I am already half asleep all the time. So does that mean when I have a child, I'm going to be full asleep all the time?
That's why people drink a lot of caffeine. That's why coffee is so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are resilient. They don't need you to be awake all the time.
Well,
just when when they're near the stove or the mattress.
Yeah.
But something that would go along with that, Heather's story of climbing down the law.
Yeah.
there's a lot of things we do in this world where we don't need our full mind to be there, or we don't need to consciously do it. It's just automatic.
Well,
So
muscle
Heather's
memory.
gone up and down this ladder before, so
Multiple
she's
times, yeah.
trained to do it. So she could do it asleep.
Hmm.
And even navigating the other obstacles, as long as she knew they were there, she could do them, even asleep. And maybe even if she didn't know they were there, because there's a part of your brain that's
Always
still
aware of that stuff.
that's still paying attention,
Yeah.
even if you aren't.
Well, muscle memory too, like
Oh,
as
for
I've
sure.
heard a lot of people sleepwalking and like going to pour glasses of milk and stuff like that. That's the same cupboard you've always had. You wake up, go down, get a cup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy what our minds can do.
And
That's why I was just telling that story more as of like I've been in it where like you don't understand how you could do all those things
Yeah.
while you're sleeping.
But
I did.
that's a long distance. You said it was
Yeah.
like an
They had a
like
2-acre lot.
Yeah.
And so like the cabin sat on the edge and there was in the middle was their 3-story bed and breakfast. And then they had their house on the other side of that.
Was it just a flat lot though?
No, it's all
Or
it
was
was
it,
slow,
like-
big hill, had trees in between. Like, I mean,
Damn. Yeah,
so I
that's
walked
a
into
long
their
distance.
house and then woke up there.
This might be, let's throw a random weird piece of information into the mix. This might be the original abduction story, Heather. We mentioned season 1 that you might have been abducted.
So they took
This
me
might be
that
the
night
original one.
and that's where they beamed me down.
Yeah.
Because people do talk about coming back like no clothes on.
Hmm.
And I was just in my underwear. Because I mean, I was 6 years old. It was hot summer night.
Yeah.
And so my dad always joked because that bear was outside. He was like, and I was really, really skinny kid.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you scared the bear away, Heather. Like he walked through and he saw you and hightailed it.
Whoa now.
He's like, there's no meat on that thing.
yeah. That's
The bear said, "Mom always said don't eat a deer that looks that skinny."
Yeah. No, I was like insane. I mean, I'm still skinny, but as a
Yeah.
kid, yeah, like no fat.
So UFO, yeah or nay, Christian?
Nope.
Ah, well, what a shocking surprise.